Ugh. Shit. Oh, what happened? What happened? Where am I? Oh,
You escaped. You got out.
I'm in space. But this
Escaped that twisted nightmare realm.
we're out of the 8th dimension, but there's no ship. What's this?
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh my god. Okay, that's big.
That's a ship. That's our ticket out of here.
Looks like maybe it's a derelict. Doesn't look like there's anyone on board. Maybe we can. Maybe this is our ticket out of here.
Oh, maybe. Well, the hell do you get in? This thing is huge.
This thing is big.
Wow. Okay.
Just hope it wasn't attacked by aliens.
There's no aliens. No such thing as the xenomorph. Looks like we can get in this way.
Hurrah! We're saved!
Maybe there'll be a crew on board. They'll have Pop-Tarts and hot chocolate and all the other good, healthy things you can eat.
Yeah! Pop-Tarts?
Yes, Pop-Tarts. So tasty. So delicious. Hello? Hello? Oh, okay. This looks grindy. Well, hello everybody. That side, welcome to the Aegis Reclaimer. No, it's not going to walk 500 miles. It's one of the largest ships that's currently in Star Citizen in its Public Test Universe 3.1. This is going by its name, it is a salvage vessel. Essentially it will find derelict ships, both player and NPC, out in the verse, as they say, and it will basically pull them apart and turn the bits into salvageable scrap. This is the cockpit of this mighty behemoth of a ship. I'll just jump into the pilot seat so you can see that for a second, and I can go into third person. You can get a rough idea of the size of this thing. So this is about as good a view as you're going to get broadside of it, but it's absolutely massive. You can just see there in the middle is the cockpit where I am, and as you see, the player character model is tiny. You've got this huge grabbing arm on the front that will, in a future update, actually be usable by the crew, which there could be several. There could be up to, is it like 5, 6 or more players in total?
They claim it as a 5-man ship, but clearly it has stations for 8, 9, maybe 10.
So this huge arm is the main means of grabbing derelicts and dragging them toward the ship, and then they can be like sort of cut apart with laser technology and stuff just to slice off the bits that are necessary. You can see it's got some form of protection. It's got a couple of turrets mounted on the top there at the front and the back. It's got these massive maneuvering thrusters and all these little sort of stabilizers, and you can see more turrets back there. And this is what the landing gear looks like when it activates. Absolutely stunning animation. So yeah, the ship is vast, to say the least. And the assistant is going to do the animation again. And now it's ready to fly. Once more. So, that's what that looks like. So if we get out of here and go around several of the decks that the ship has and the different stations. So this is a co-pilot seat. Back here you've got another 2 seats for players who would be using the tractor beams, which are obviously necessary for pulling in any of the other floating detritus they may find. You've got this is a turret operation station. Doesn't work unfortunately, but you can sort of activate it. This is a scanning station, which obviously would be necessary for finding all your bits and bobs. Ignore the flames and the sparks. The ship currently spawns in a slightly damaged state. Normally these grinders would not have flames coming out of them, but this is where a lot of your parts would drop into, and they get chopped up into you know, basic metals that can be repurposed and sold. So this is a lift that takes you up to the upper deck. You've also got some, I think these are escape pods, but they aren't usable at the moment. Obviously that was the way I got in, and you've got a ladder that will take you up, but just to be fancy we'll use the lift. So should be down in a second. Funnily enough, this ship, the interior of it was designed by the man who worked on Alien Isolation. So he did a lot of the interiors for that game, and so you can probably see some of the inspiration for it here in like the exposed cabling and these little like padded sections on the walls. So if you've played Alien Isolation, you'll immediately get the idea and the aesthetic they're going for. It's very reminiscent of the Nostromo. This takes you up to a turret, but I'm not sure if the turret is usable. I don't think it is, but gives you an idea of just the size of the turret station. So that's the actual entrance to the turret there. With, I think these are going to be sections you can open up and you can put in like power cells and stuff. Obviously the animation for ladders is still a little bit rough, but you know, it works as a placeholder. Currently, this is, if you took the ladder up instead of the lift, this takes you to the gravity generator room, so that's what's producing the artificial gravity on the ship. Apparently this is one of the first ones to actually have this working in the game. That's very pretty. And remember, if you're in the release game, if you snuck on board the ship and this sort of a play, you can take that out and then everyone's going to be in 0G. These ships are also big enough to be levels in and of themselves of first-person shooters in some respects. This is drone operations, so there's the 2 seats for the drone operators. Again, the screens don't do anything because there's no drones yet to activate. This is where your drones would be deployed before presumably either firing out the bottom or launching out the top. We're not quite sure yet. They haven't actually got the drone stuff completed. They've got the Vulcan, which is another drone carrying ship, and I think that's when that's done they're going to add the drones to this as well in a future update, probably like 3.2 or beyond. Obviously you've got all this sort of, it's slightly worn down, it looks used, it's really nice aesthetic. This is pretty self-explanatory, but these are your escape pods, so you've got a couple of them, a few more of them for your crew to bail out when the xenomorphs are running rampant, killing everybody. This is, I can't quite remember what this one was. Oh, this is the server room, which again will have some important aspect of play with regards to maybe hacking and stealing data, or just being able to transfer data into your mobiGlas and then, you know, supplying it for the end of the mission. This is Habitation. This little room is your docking collar. Now, at some point, I'm guessing you would be able to connect this to maybe larger stations that can't have a ship of this size land on it, so they may have to use a docking collar with the station, or for larger vessels or even smaller ships that may connect here and they can come into the Habitation room. You can sit down on these, but they're a little finicky and you can get stuck at the moment, but you can again see very reminiscent of the Nostromo scene where the poor Kane's chest gets bursted. And you got this little viewing deck there, viewing window. Let's see, next up is you've got Captain's quarters here. He's got his fancy desk and water that's leaking out this pipe. It's not very good, especially not for the captain's quarters here. So you got his little screen. He's a big fan of BattleTech. He's working out his hex moves there. Yes, you got that. I assume that will all light up personal information, probably in-game options and stuff you want to do. When you buy all your fancy spacesuits and civilian clothing, you can store them in your lockers. He's got his space bed and his all-important space shower, space toilet, which you can't interact with this space toilet. Confirmed for vampirism, you currently have no reflections in game, so that's very swish. This is where the crew live, so they've got their own lockers there. Again, ignore the sparking monitors; they shouldn't really be that damaged. So you've got 4 bunks. They've got their own little viewing window there. Got bits and pieces. This is the crew washroom. We've always got to make sure you've got your bottle of Dare Forge and Kirin Sunblast for body and hair. And
I never leave home without that.
Yeah, never leave home without his. These are your 2 shower compartments, and you've got your 2 space toilets. Oh, we've got Dare Axle. Ah, you see, for the discerning customer. Right, so that's Habitation, I believe. Now, this is, again, ignore the fire. That is not normal for a spaceship. It should not be on fire. This subdeck ladder is apparently the only way down to the engine room, which we discovered on our little foray before I started recording. Again, the engine room should not be on fire, unless it's some kind of internal combustion engine system, which I highly doubt. So that's your engine core. It should have like lightning coming off it, I imagine, but not flames at the side. This would also be where the player would use an engineering station. Obviously, at the moment it's just showing you all the standard screens, but they'd have their own options and stuff, and how they adjust power levels, maybe run diagnostics, start self-repair, that kind of thing. So, you know, all the important engineer stuff. You know, he's got to use an analogy like in Star Trek to explain to the audience how they're going to defeat the aliens. Like, too much air into a balloon, you know, that kind of thing. That's going to be his job. Now, this may fuck up, but you've got this lift, right? You've got to make sure you run across there, because these little lips will kill you. You will fall down them, and you will get stuck. And then you have to force a respawn. So being a salvage ship, where's all the salvage go? Well, the salvage goes into this area. We gotta wait for the lip death. Gotta wait for the sound. We're done. We're gonna run across. There we go. So this is an upper balcony, but there is a way down to these two levels. So where all of your bits of derelict spaceship would go would be down here.
Large enough to be a hangar in its own right, isn't it?
Oh yeah, you could spawn like an Aurora or you know, several of the smaller vessels in here alone. It gives you an idea. Sadly, no means of being able to fly any of those ships inside.
Yeah.
Using it as a portable like carrier vessel.
But it is massive.
It's absolutely vast. Recall the defivator. That's the sound. We can go. Okay. Salvage hold, and really the last place is the old cargo hold. Now this lift is huge and can actually deploy planet side when you land it, which we can't do unless it's free flights, because it's one of the easiest ways of spawning it without the server crashing and causing the video to be pointless. Right, and this is the cargo room, which is just where the actual ship's necessary items would go, foodstuffs and all the rest of it, you know, or if they're just doing a little cargo mission on the side as well.
I'm wondering whether this would be able to carry a small vehicle maybe for planet-side exploration as well. I mean,
yeah,
you might want to travel over to a crashed wreck. Can this open up and deploy something?
I'd assume you would you'd have to put the yellow jacket on that lift and then hover it in here and land it. But that's only if this
cargo door opens. So
there's a neat little bug. You can run over here. Oh god, I've got no gravity. I'm in space, and now I'm not in space, and now I'm back on my feet. So that's a weird bug. That little bit there, just there to freak you the fuck out. Okay. Wait for the defivator. There's the sound. We can go. You always remember the sound.
Always remember the sound.
So we can exit to surface. I don't know what this will do. This will be a funny way of ending it. But just to give you an idea, so when you go out and you land this monster of a ship on a planet, this is one of the other ways that you would be able to, you know, roll a vehicle onto this, and then you could, you know, take off. It's pretty cool. It's kind of weird that you still have gravity to walk around on this thing, but it gives you an idea. So if I tell it to do that again, that'll bring the lips down.
Probably walk off.
Now we can walk off.
Maybe we can find where that cargo hold door is.
Yeah, so will it be back here?
I have literally no idea. I mean, where did that door go to? There's some turrets.
Yeah, 2 rear firing turrets.
You know what? I've no idea. That's the answer to that question. Don't know. But by God, this is a big ship. I mean, just the size of that claw, which the co-pilot seat will be able to, in the future, operate to what end, I don't know.
Yeah, so, as you can see, this claw thing...
Can you float in between?
Should be able to float in between it, yeah. It gives you an idea how massive this claw is. The players can land in it. And just to give you an idea of where the captain goes when he's flying it. Here you go. So that's where I was before. And it just goes on. The ship is absolutely massive.
There's that big turret we couldn't get access to.
Yeah.
Earlier.
There's one of the main turrets up there.
That's the only one that you actually climb inside. Ah, that must be the airlock.
That's the docking collar for the Hab
collar.
deck.
And there's also airlocks on the side, which I suspect are used for docking with space stations or other ships, maybe.
I think that the side airlocks are probably for maintenance work if the ship needs any repairs from the outside.
Oh, you reckon it's more for that use?
I think so. Oop. Now I don't know if this will screw up. No, the other one it did last time we tried it. And then we should. The system is still a little finicky. See now, if things are opening that one for some reason, there we go. That'll do.
Space suits.
Yeah, there's your actual spacesuits. You can't put any of them on. And then you're back in, and now we're back on the lift deck. So yeah, and that's just another airlock the other side. So that was the Aegis Reclaimer. It's pretty massive. What do you all think of that? Obviously, it's a cool looking ship. An immense amount of work has gone into this. I can imagine an entire like gaming sessions just being on this ship, doing the work, walking around. Looks like the makeshift benches made outside there.
I do have a question though.
What?
What happened to the crew? I mean, this thing's just floating there. I mean,
do
you think something happened to them? I mean, where do you think they went?
I wouldn't worry about it too much. I mean,
really?
Yeah.
Think we're safe then. We'll manage to use this and get back home.
I'm sure I could fly this thing.
Right. Okay then.
Got a pretty good idea how to do it. There we go. Sit down. Power's on.
Engines online.
Oh, to infinity and... oh no, maybe not. Maybe not that one.
And we're off. That's maximum speed, folks. I mean, even third-person view, it's hard to navigate the ship. Unless there's a way of, like, zooming out more. We can go into afterburn, then. I know what you're all thinking. You're all thinking, that's great and everything, Rocket. That's amazing. Can it explode when it hits an asteroid? Well, let's have a look, shall we? Let's line this puppy up. There we go.
But I don't want to die.
We're not gonna die. It's all right. This ship can take a beating. I'm sure of it. There we go. Maximum thrust. We're getting up there. It'll be just like the M50 video. I'm sure it'll just bounce off it. It won't explode. Oh,
Maximum thrust.
maximum thrust. Bonk. Yeah, well.
Yeah, this is free fly, so...
Well, the Razor exploded.
It did.
This just rubs. Guess there's no damage state. Still, it'd be funny to take this into Vandals 1. It'd probably take them forever to kill it. Oh well. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.